Welcome back. This is now day 23 of Flow Posting. My name is Crystal Tottenham from Crystal Clear Coaching. I am showing up here to help you tune into yourself. Today, I want to talk about something called parts. So, this is part of my coaching training as we learn about all the internal parts that we actually store subconsciously, subconsciously, parts of ourselves that were created in a moment in time that were to serve an intended positive outcome. And they all have an intended positive outcome. They might also have lots of unintended negative outcomes. And this is why it's important to look at our parts and notice when the parts you don't want to be running the show are running the show. We literally have thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe, you couldn't really count them, of parts that are within us that we have been following the patterns of. If they're the loudest part, that then speaks up and tells us that something feels unsafe, thus will kick us out of love and belonging, or which then leads to it being potentially unsurvivable. Then it will holler at our internal system to tell us that it's not safe to do XYZ, whatever we're about to do. And those parts are well-meaning. Their intended positive outcome is to have you survive. And for whatever reason, they feel like whatever way they show up is the way to do it. And we can't actually ever delete parts. We can't delete a part of us that was created. It's still within us. So then the question becomes, like, how do we work with these parts so that we can actually move forward in this day and age, when this part might have been created when you were 6 years old, and this part might be really speaking up and saying, listen to me, I know better than you, when really it's a sweet 6-year-old that is just afraid of not being in love and belonging, and thus at a 6-year-old age wouldn't necessarily survive not having someone that loves them to look after them so that they feel they belong and they can survive another day and another day, another year. And it comes down to that simple, that sweet little part of you. Just picture them on your hand in front of you. That sweet little part of you just wants to be heard. It thinks it knows what's best. Usually its intended positive outcome is that it wants you to survive in the way that it feels like it knows how, the only way it knows how. And this part can lead to many other parts that then make a hyperstabilized belief that becomes a pattern that we go through whenever we feel the energy of the first situation that this part was created in. And then we find ourselves with these self-sabotage patterns, these things we just keep doing, even though we know it's stopping us from getting to this bright future, this desire that we really want in our lives. Okay, not a good time over there. But yeah, so when it's in the desire, whenever we're able to get to the desire, there is a parts conflict. So that means, this is just one of your parts. There is thousands, hundreds of thousands of them. And just think, whenever you have a parts conflict, so different parts, one part of you is saying, go towards this future, do this, we have to expand ourselves. And then this other part is saying, no, we need to stay small and safe. Well, those parts are having a conflict. And like, if you like every time you desire something, that is literally just a parts conflict happening internally. So if you didn't, if it wasn't, if there wasn't a parts conflict, you would already have your desire. It wouldn't be a desire because you'd already have it. It would just immediately come into your reality. So the desire is kind of the bridge. The desire ring, should I say, is the bridge to that. But that parts conflict has to be resolved, and there might be one big one, or there might be lots of little parts speaking on more of this kind of energy and more speaking on this kind of energy, or there could be a whole bunch speaking and all just making a very loud conflict and then overwhelming us, stagnating us, having us just shrink and decide to not go for our dreams, to not step forward in a different way because it feels unsurvivable. So I just invite you, now that you have this knowledge, even if you've heard of this before, it's a great reminder. It's a great reminder for me as well. Like, just notice when different parts of you come up. What was their origin? At what age were you when this part was created? Could you find an older, more capable part of yourself to then take hands with that younger part of yourself to console and look after that younger part of yourself and say, hey, thank you so much for all the work that you've done to keep us alive, to have us survive. You did a wonderful job because we're still here. And would it be okay if I take over the reins from here, freeing you up to do whatever you want? So if you want to, if you haven't already, you can close down your eyes and just actually picture this for yourself. That smaller, younger part of yourself just on your right hand, looking at you through those eyes of whatever age you were then, and just feeling like, no, I have to be in control. And then see them first seeing this other part that is in conflict, but this strong, capable part, and see what their reaction is to that, to this strong, capable part now saying to you, we've got this. Thank you so much for looking after us, but we've actually got this, and you can actually just go play if you want to. And these younger parts of ourselves often would just love to go play. So see them go play if they've said yes to that. And now the stronger, more capable part of you gets to show up whenever this part is feeling threatened, and you just need to internally make sure that this strong, capable part of yourself is reminding this young part of yourself that there's nothing to be done. They've got this. The future part, the strong part, the capable part has got this, and you actually can just let this younger version of yourself go play. We want to try new things and live a life of our childhood and adulthood dreams, and your young self will want that too. They will just be scared. So then what can you do to then make sure that you're bringing them together whenever this comes up, and you're just letting that strong, capable part hold the hand of that younger self and go forward from there. I hope this has helped. I've had something come up on my screen, so hopefully it's still recording. Okay, yep, that has. So yeah, that's parts integration. That's part of, I keep using the word part, crazy. that is a big part of the NLP training that I did, and it is really fascinating. But just be curious. Again, I'm always inviting curiosity. Can you look at what parts you may have created in your past and what their intended positive outcome was, and if that's still something that you actually need to live into? So when they say, oh, hey, we need to do this because this is how we survived last time, can you notice if that's still true? Or actually, that was just the way we survived that time, but could there possibly be other ways that we survive? Yes. So it's up to that strong, capable part to come out whenever a situation arises when we're feeling triggered. Some part of us is feeling triggered, and then they get to hold the hand of the younger one, take the reins, and see what else you can create. See what you can shift, what blocks you can remove. I hope this has helped. I hope this has made sense. I will likely talk about parts again because it's quite a juicy subject. But let me know what you think, and excited to share this with you, and much love.